presidency on findings of the August Seed helicopter crash report following presentation of the report of the president yesterday. We'll cross over to the presidency for the latest. Also coming up, Galamsey kingpin arrested by the anti-Galamsey task force attempts to bribe the team for the release of illegal miners arrested at his site at Bonsu. And on the international front, wife and son of former Gabon President Ali Bongo face 12 corruption charges. Details of these stories comes up shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Bainat TV. Now the news in details. The committee tasked to investigate the August Seed helicopter crash is currently making its findings public at a press briefing at the presidency. Let's cross over for more.
At some point. This was on board the aircraft, just to give you an idea. The weather in the southern Ghana was poor on the day, which delayed departure for about an hour. In Accra, conditions were misty, with visibility of about 5 to 7 kilometers and very low clouds starting at only 700 to 1100 feet above the ground. While the situation improved slightly later in the morning, the early hours were dominated by haze and overcast skies. In Kumasi, the weather was worse, with drizzle reducing visibility to around 4 kilometers and heavy and Kumasi. Rugged terrain, you can have turbulence, downdraft, and other phenomena. This is what we're talking about. It's now to look at this. This is what we're talking about. This is a known aviation phenomena when you have such rugged territory. And what ends up happening is turbulent wind currents occur usually around ridgelines, mountains, and hills, and can generate sink rates in excess of 1,000 feet a minute in moderate wind conditions. These sink conditions can often exist well above the barrier that induces the eddies. We assessed the aircraft to see if it was fit for purpose. The helicopter entered the Ghana Air Force Service in May 2015, having been manufactured in 2012, and it reached its 10-year service threshold on 18th May 2025. Aircrafts have periodic checks to make sure that they are fit for service. The Air Force has trained what was mandated for this helicopter. Now, as is usual, an operator, in this case Ghana Air Force, requested from the manufacturer an extension. And it's normal, happens in civil flying, happens with any type of flying. The manufacturer gave a 90-day extension. The aircraft on the day was declared serviceable and duly signed off by both the engineers and the captain. The flight data report indicates that the helicopter was in good working condition. The helicopter, however, did not have some avionic safety enhancements. As I said before, the aircraft was serviceable and airworthy. The additional safety equipment that the helicopter did not have were things as you may choose: advanced navigation with terrain mapping, an automatic flight control system. And I would say that these safety equipment would have enhanced situational awareness. For instance, it didn't have an autopilot. That's advanced, the automatic flight control system, so that the crew had to manually fly the plane. So it sort of increases workload. Typically, you want to have a plane that has an autopilot. All the civil planes use autopilot, and the workload on the pilots is very low. It gives you the chance to do things and to think easily, and so on and so forth. Despite all this, the aircraft was in a good condition to fly and met all safety requirements. The investigation has recommended strongly for aircraft with these additional safety enhancements to be acquired immediately for the Air Force. With these additional safety enhancements to be acquired immediately for the Air Force. To rule out any potential human causes, we also examine the qualifications, experience, and competence of the crew. The captain has a postgraduate certificate in safety and accident investigation from Cranfield University, UK, in 2024. The captain was a qualified FAA, that's the Federal Aviation Administration, commercial and instrument rated pilot from Bristol Academy, Florida, US. Within the Ghana Air Force, he was recategorized in March 2025 as a Cat C pilot. That is a pilot qualified to be a captain on the helicopter, the Z9 helicopter. And he had a green instrument rating. Gradings for pilots, categories for pilots from A to D. D being, depends on what you call high and low. D being for the initial, sort of, and then you go all the way to A. It's interesting to note that for quite a while, and as of now in the Air Force, the highest category is Cat C. So the pilot was also a qualified FAA commercial and instrument rated pilot from Bristol Academy, Florida, witnesses calm, prepared, and professional during the pre-flight activities. Fatigue or medication was not considered to have materially affected their performance. The flight to Bofuyadro was uneventful. Bofuyadro is approximately 90 miles from Accra, about 10 miles from Obuasi. As the flight approached Obuasi, visibility deteriorated rapidly due to mist and low clouds. At 9:56, the crew entered IMC. To the layman, it is they flew into clouds because they no longer could stay away from the clouds, so they flew into clouds. And transition. As the flight approached Obuasi, the crew terrain, the visual cues to now see the high ground below, so they had gone over it. Suddenly thereafter, the helicopter that was flying up to cross terrain that they were aware of. They initiated to climb to cross the terrain. Seconds before impact, the crew stated that they could see the high ground below, so they had gone over it. The dotted blue line is what the planned track had been. The purple line is what the aircraft actually flew, and that took place 7.5 miles from the destination, and this happened at 9:58. It was airworthy, but it lacked additional safety enhancements. For instance, the terrain awareness warning system. Now, you know, the terrain awareness warning system, for instance, it puts the pilots in a better, it gives them, puts them in a position to make better judgments, to be able to see everything and be able to foretell if there are any.
So that was the presentation of the August 6th helicopter crash report. Stay tuned to Bena News for more details. Now, moving on, President of the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, has warned that Ghana's moral and democratic foundations are being undermined by inequality, corruption, and recurring violence. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 2025 Plenary Assembly of the GCBC at the Unity Center in Damango on Monday, November 10, 2025, he said Ghana's global reputation as a beacon of democracy and peace conceals a growing moral and social decline. According to the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, Ghana continues to be admired as a beacon of democracy and peace in West Africa. Yet, beneath this celebrated image lies a complex reality marked by inequality, corruption, and recurring violence that threatens the moral fiber of the society. Touching on political tensions and electoral violence, Most Reverend Gyamfi expressed worry that recent elections have revealed a rise in intolerance and hostility. He noted that despite Ghana's successful record of 9 general elections and 4 peaceful power transactions since 1992, the 2024 elections exposed serious cracks in the nation's political culture. He noted that independent observers described the 2024 polls as among the most violent since the beginning of the Fourth Republic. Police reports confirm 106 arrests related to post-election disturbances, several deaths, and numerous injuries. Democracy without conscience, however, is fragile. Without truth and justice, it risks becoming ritual rather than renewal. His remarks come as investigation continue into election-related violence recorded between 2020 and 2024. The Minister for Interior, Mubarak Muhammad Mutaka, recently revealed that 21 suspects have been identified in connection to the deaths of 15 people and injuries of 40 others during those elections. According to the minister, 4 suspects are currently on bail, 5 are on remand, and warrants have been issued to the arrest of the remaining suspects. He said the prosecutions reflect the government's resolve to ensure accountability and justice for victims of electoral violence. Most Reverend Gyamfi's comments highlights the Catholic Bishops' Conference's growing concern over Ghana's political climate and its implications for the nation's moral and democratic future. Moving on, an illegal mining kingpin, Idrisu Zakaria, popularly known as Yaya, has been arrested in a sting operation at Bonsu. There's more in the following report.
Idrisu Zakari's arrest followed an attempt to negotiate the release of his detained accomplices and to halt ongoing investigations into his illegal mining activities. The operation took place on Monday, November 10, 2025 at about 6:06 p.m. after a planned meeting between Zakari and operatives from NIMOS who had been monitoring his movements for weeks. Officials say Zakari was lured into the meeting after expressing interest in securing the release of his men and influencing the probe into his Galamsey operations within the Osino residential area. The arrest comes just days after a November 7th raid on Zakari's mining site by NIMOS, where 32 Nigerian nationals and 4 Ghanaian guards armed with machetes were arrested. Zakari has since been handed over to the Ghana Police Service for further investigations.
And on this note, we go for a quick break. We'll be back with business and more.
From the very first stage to this defining moment, they came with passion, purpose, and the power of faith. And now, 5 remarkable voices remain. Each has walked a journey of courage, conviction, and devotion, each ready to make history. Ilham, soft and gentle, yet fearless. Her calm voice carries power. Her gentleness commands hearts.
It is our problem, and together, tare zamu iya kiyaye yaran matanmu.
Halima, slow but sure, every step deliberate, every moment filled with quiet purpose.
So no matter how you think you have all the weapons in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only says be and it will be.
Maimuna shines in modesty. Her humility radiates strength, grace wrapped in faith.
وجعل القمر فيهن نورا وجعل الشمس سراجا.
Hanoun, bold and fearless, her words burn with truth and courage.
This is not leadership, this is betrayal, but not all hearts are hardened.
Muhammad, the only man left standing, a pillar of resilience. His voice echoes leadership and legacy.
Amina, I want Chelsea to win the game. I'm trying to fix us, Amina. Can't you understand? I'm trying to fix us. And you just understand how it's like to carry everything. Hey.
Faith, talent, unity. The journey that began with hope ends with history. The Ummah Show Grand Finale, Friday, 14th November at 8 p.m. live on Baina TV. Venue, Zenith University College, near Trade Fair, La Accra. Entry free. The Ummah Show, definitely different.
Welcome back. You're still watching Baina Midday News on Baina TV. Now moving on to some business story. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandit Esiama, has urged central banks across Africa to embrace digital transformation or risk becoming obsolete in a rapidly evolving financial world driven by technology and artificial intelligence. Speaking at the maiden Bank of Ghana, Bank of England, Pan-African Central Bank Governors Conference in Accra, Dr. Esiama warned that rapid innovations in digital payments and AI are testing the relevance and resilience of traditional central banking systems.
Dr. Esiama noted that although central banks' core mandates ensuring price stability, maintaining financial soundness, and fostering economic growth remain unchanged, the environment in which these goals are pursued has been dramatically reshaped by digital disruption. Dr. Esiama's remarks come at a time of growing debate over digital currencies, cross-border fintech integration, and the regulation of AI-driven financial systems. He cautioned that without timely adoption, regulatory framework could lag behind innovation, undermining public trust and financial stability. Delivering the keynote address at the two-day conference, Dr. Esiama highlighted 5 major challenges confronting central bank leadership, including the intricate balance between economic policy and political realities. His presentation set the tone for the conference, which brings together policymakers, regulators, and financial experts to explore how central banks can safeguard stability while evolving with the demands of the digital age.
And in some news beyond our borders, Sylvia Bongo Ondimba and her son Nuruddin Bongo Valentin, wife and son of former Gabonese President Ali Bongo, are being tried in absentia on corruption charges. The trial, which began on Monday before Gabon's Special Criminal Court, is expected to continue throughout the week. They are among 13 defendants accused of diverting presidential funds and state resources for personal benefit. In total, the group faced 12 charges, including embezzlement of public funds, money laundering, corruption, and forgery of official documents. Sylvia and Nuruddin were both arrested in August 2023 following a military coup that toppled President Ali Bongo, ending the Bongo family's 55-year hold on power. And in sports, Accra Heart of Oak has strongly condemned the regrettable scenes that unfolded after the Ghana Premier League match against Asante Kotoko at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday. In a statement issued on Monday, November 10, 2025, the club expressed deep regret over the post-match event, stressing that such behaviors does not reflect the values and traditions